Good morning, everybody. Uneducated Economist here. Got a link down in the description I want to share with you guys. It's to an article talking about the Peloton company, the stationary bike company. They just laid off 2,800 employees. And the article is really interesting because it's talking about the bullwhip effect. And this is something that we have talked about in the past, and that I felt that at some point that we are going to be seeing a lot of this bullwhip effect taking place throughout the economy. And it's showing up here in Peloton. Now, the bullwhip effect is when there is misunderstandings taking place throughout the distribution network all the way up to the manufacturers. And I had described it with some plumbing fittings and how these plumbing fittings had come up in short supply. Now, I work at a hardware store. I sell, building supplies for a living. And these particular plumbing fittings, they're really popular with like people who do excavation work or septic systems. They're just a 4-inch rubber fitting with pipe clamps on each side of it. And when they came up in short supply, when we couldn't get them, these guys who do this excavation work and septic systems, they were in like desperate need of these things. They wanted them bad, and when they could not find them, they couldn't complete their jobs. It was a nightmare. So when they finally did come in, like I had a guy, as soon as he saw them, he bought all of them up, and I'm like, well, I can get more. Don't worry about it. And he was like, nope, I ran short before. I'm never running short again. He grabbed them all up. Well, the same thing happened the next time they came in. The next customer came in looking for them, they bought them all up. So what ends up happening is that our inventory level shows a constant demand for these things, and we're always out of stock. So what it shows is that we need to start beefing up our order. Instead of ordering 4, we need to order 6 or 7 or 8 so that we can meet the demand that's taking place out there. But what the rest of the distribution network doesn't see, including like the algorithm from like the computer that we use, is that these customers were panic buying. And I feel that if this was taking place not only in my store, but in several stores around the community and throughout the nation, that the demand for these particular fittings would seem incredibly high, even though it was more of a panic buy to secure the product so that they know that they can continue working their jobs. And so when it comes to like this bullwhip effect, this is what ends up happening throughout the distribution network, is that they don't exactly see why it is that the retail demand is so high. All they know is that they have a demand for product and that they need to fill that demand. But by the time the product is built and sent all the way down to the distribution network and all the way to the retailers, they find that the demand really isn't as high as it seemed at the time that they were building at the time the manufacturing was taking place. And this is what I feel is taking place with Peloton right now. And that's what they're describing inside of the article as well. And they say that this is probably happening through a lot of the companies throughout the entire global supply, is that a lot of people were experiencing this exact same scenario as the demand for particular products completely wiped off the shelf, started increasing, higher and higher. The manufacturers wanted to fill that demand, ramped up production, had a hard time getting it through the distribution network. By the time it finally got to the retailers, they didn't really want it. The demand had dropped off dramatically. So this is the current situation that's taken place, and we kind of saw it happen in lumber too, um, and you almost kind of see it happening right now. Like I there's a lot of people have been asking me, why is lumber at 1250 per thousand right now? And to be honest, it shouldn't be that high. It's too expensive. Most people are probably not going to be buying a lot of lumber at 1250 per thousand. Only the people who have like an inelastic demand to it, like they're a contractor who has to fill a contract. They have no other choice but to go and buy this lumber. But there's a lot of customers out there, like homeowners, who may be planning to build a deck or a fence or woodshed or chicken coop or whatever it is they're going to build this year. When they start seeing the prices of lumber going up, they can easily back off on those projects and say, hey, never mind, I'm not going to do it. But if you're a contractor who's contracted to build, you have no other choice. You have to secure that material. And if you think about it right now, there is a major trucking issue, and it's something that I had brought up, a couple of times in the last videos that I had talked about lumber in, is that getting this material through the distribution network has been very difficult. And now when you got this trucker protest taking place up in Canada and moving here into the United States, I could only assume that there's probably a few panic buyers out there wanting to secure that material before it has a chance to, get hung up inside of this, inside of the protest, or any issues in supply distribution. So anyway, wanted to talk about that. Also got a mail call here. I'm sorry, guys. I tried doing the video earlier and I kind of messed it up, so I've already opened the mail, but I thought I would show you anyway. This is from Chris. Chris is our buddy who likes to send the mail through in these bank envelopes, which I always got a kick out of. So thank you very much for that. And he sent me these really cool coins. Let me show you them. So thank you very much, Chris. These are some foreign coins. Now, where are they from? I can't remember. Let me see here. I can't even read the names. Maybe you guys can see it down there in the description or something like that. And the penny. So cool. And look at a little itty bitty tiny piece of silver. Love that. Thank you. And then this is a pretty cool package here. This one are these children's books, right? By baddaddy.com, Question Authority. Very interesting. These children's books are quite well put together. I have to give it the little bit that I've looked through here so far. But let me kind of just read a little bit of this one for you. This one's called Good Debt, Bad Debt, and the Big Green Blob. And it says, over breakfast with mom and dad, writers spotted the headline across dad's newspaper. College debt crisis crushing youth. Dad, what's a debt crisis and why is it crushing people? Remember when we talked about the money system? Debt is the product of paper money. It's like the blob, trapping people who aren't careful, like many college students today. The blob. Wow. Tell me more. When you borrow money, the amount you owe is called debt. Debt is like the blob because it keeps growing. Every day you don't pay it back, it gets bigger. The amount it grows is called interest. Interest is the only reason a bank or stranger might lend you money, so they get more money back from when it is time to pay it back. This is pretty good. I'm going to read these to Freddie, or Freddie might read them to me. He's an excellent reader, but I really appreciate this, man. Very cool. Let me show you here. Got this cool sticker. And it says here, hey Simon, enjoy buddy, let me know if you want to discuss. Phil. So thank you so much, man. That is so cool of you. I really appreciate the books. And thank you everybody for following the channel. All the support you guys give for me. I can never thank you guys enough. Uneducated Economist, you let me know.